the economy, and you actually get back to surplus.
When he keeps finding all of these companies that are getting like $1 billion here and $2 billion there, and all, like the Stacey Abrams one where they're going to give energy efficient appliances to poor people.
Yeah.
$2 billion. It's
Yeah.
like, what did you do? Like, what did you do? Like, there's a bunch of those. Like, what did you do? Like the high-speed internet one.
Yeah.
What did you do? How come you got billions of dollars and fucking nothing happened? Imagine if you were a private company and you had a segment. Like, imagine we were all a company. And we're like, Francis, I think you should be in charge of figuring out how to do this with the phone.
I'd be like, we've already fucked you.
Yeah, trust me, I run a
giving
business
you-
with this guy. That's a bad
I'm
idea.
giving you $4 billion to get this done.
Yeah.
And then I never talk to you again. I never check in. I don't go, hey, where's the fucking money being spent? What are you doing, man? How come the phone can't do this yet? I don't ask for any progress reports. You just keep getting money. This is bananas.
It's crazy.
Like, and for anybody who doesn't want that to be more efficient, like, what are you working for? If you're paying taxes, what are you working for? You're part of your day is the running of this government. You're happy that it's being run like this? You're happy that billions are going to places that no one can you have no receipts? You don't know where it got spent? You have no idea? And that's legal?
It's sort of like, but I kind of think about it like this. It's sort of the equivalent. You know those direct debits that come out of your account?
Yeah.
And you just like...
Right. You're like, what is that?
What's that?
What did I sign up for?
$2 trillion, no, that's fine.
I canceled that gym membership. What the fuck?
Yeah, and it keeps coming out. You're like, you know what? I'll deal with it later.
Yeah.
That's kind of, we've just got too many direct debits and they're going all over the place.
Well, it's that, but then there's the fear that they're putting out there, which is the just fear that they're going to fuck up Social Security and they're going to fuck up Medicaid, and there's people that are relying on that, and they're going to lose their service for they did no wrong. Now, I don't know what the story is with that. Like, I know there's people that have complained that the Social Security website has been down. It's been down a couple times, but I don't know if people are not getting their benefits. Do we know? Can we find that out?
I haven't heard that, Joe. But
Jamie, do some research.
I think it is inevitable that when you
But
do
that's what
things this
everyone's
quickly.
afraid. Right, but that's what everyone's afraid of, that the vulnerable people, the people that we should be protecting with these social programs that we all agree to. Those are the people we have to protect the most. We have to make sure that there's no disruptions. You got to make sure before you do anything, there's no disruptions. You know, before you shoot the bad guy, make sure he's not holding a baby. You can't interrupt. Like, when people are on Social Security, man, they're fucking. If they're, that's not a lot of money, right? And so they don't have any money in the bank probably, and they probably have it all budgeted out to get on that check, and they're probably real frugal with their food choices, and that's a rough life, man. And if you cut that off for 30 days, 90 days for people, okay, never missed a benefit payment. U.S. Social Security Administration has never missed a benefit payment. Now the continuity of monthly checks for millions of Americans could be at risk following changes under the Trump administration, former Commissioner Martin O'Malley says. So it's saying, okay, so the key points is it's saying before this, they've never missed a benefit payment.
But it's also not saying they are missing them now. It's saying it could be at risk.
Okay, it just says threaten interruption of benefits, which is, look, what I would say if I was a Democrat. If I wanted to make it look bad, I would say if they're threatening your benefits, and then people go into a hot panic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, like, I remember when I was teaching, and I was teaching in schools that were super deprived, schools where the kids, a lot of them would come to school, they didn't have food in their bellies, etc., etc. And there's a agency in the UK called CAMS, which is Child and Mental Health Services. And I remember that we had so many kids who had problems, psychological problems, particularly if you grow up poor, deprived. You know, you'd seen horrible stuff when you were a kid. You had, you know, maybe like a brother who got involved in gangs is now in prison, a father who was never there. There were so many kids who had this need, and they had conditions which were undiagnosed, whether it's something like dyslexia or like your brother was murdered, you had some form of PTSD. And you had this, you know, this agency which brought counselors in, which brought psychologists in and psychiatrists who were experts at dealing with kids. And I just remember because of austerity, you know, this agency got cut after cut after cut after cut. And you're looking at it and you're going, like, I understand we need to cut. I understand we're running at a deficit. But there needs to be balance as well, because when you're looking at those type of agencies, they're really important. They're really important. And also, if you invest that money and you're able to support those kids, they're far more likely when they leave school to be a healthy, happier member of society that's going to contribute tax pounds sterling or tax dollars.
Do you think it's a reasonable request to have something that does that? Something that helps feed poor kids, helps educate people, like genuinely helps communities all around the world, completely separate from all the other stuff that agency does. Because like USAID was a huge, gigantic organization of a bunch of different entities, right?
Which did some good stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of crazy shit.
A lot of crazy shit.
Yeah.
But if I was someone who was, you know, nefariously running things, I would definitely mix up my regime change operation with like giving food to poor people. So like, look, we're doing great stuff. Look at all the great stuff we're doing. Here's what we're highlighting.
Well, you don't like
for this
feeding
month.
poor kids?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, and no one even knew that they had this enormous budget that was as. What is it bigger than the Pentagon's? Was USAID's budget bigger than the Pentagon's? No.
No, it's like what is 0.6% of the budget or something. Like
what was USAID's budget?
Yeah, it's like 0.6% of the budget.
No, I know, but like, what was the numbers? Because it was bigger than something, like the amount of money that USAID pays.
21.7 billion for the fiscal year of 2024, 0.3% of the $6.8 trillion overall federal budget.
6 point what trillion? That's so crazy.
Yeah.
So you just think just that money. How much of that money is fraud and waste?
Yeah.
How much of that money is really good? How much of that money, like, that should be separate from, at the very least, someone needs to go in and audit and go, hey, Wells, good. Giving these people arms because you want them to overthrow that government, that's probably not so good.
Yeah.
Or maybe it is good.
Or maybe it is good.
Maybe
That's
it is
right.
good. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's like you talk to guys like Mike Baker, who is very kind of stoic about all this. It's like, you know, you have no choice. Like, you need to get these people on your side in certain parts of the world, and this is just how it works. And if you don't do that, then China does or Russia does, and it gets even worse for you.